What happens when the state's own witness gets caught in a lie? Today, everything changed. Gwabini, the man Zungu called his centerpiece, walked into court and destroyed the state's narrative. He denied Zungu's version. He said Zungu lied. And suddenly, the question becomes explosive. Did the state arrest two men based on a false story? And should Zungu now face perjury charges? Let's unpack this unfolding disaster, because this moment may reshape the entire case. Stay tuned.
Yes, Mr. Minister.
As it is a court, my lord, with the leave of court, may I continue to call the next witness into the box. And he is the Sifiso Zungu. Mr. Zungu. Now, which one would you rather prefer we call you with, we use here at court? It's Kwabeni, your name, or Zungu, your surname?
Kwabeni.
Thank you. Now, as I indicated to you, that in the investigation of the police on the circumstances surrounding the death of the deceased Senzo Meyiwa in this case, they stumbled across a Constable Zungu, who had already testified here at court.
Nanjengoba besengishilo-ke kuyena ukuthi-ke kuphenyo amaphoyisa alwenza ase ehlanganake noma lolo phenyo lwabaholela-ke uConstable Zungu osebuthululeke ubufakazi bakhe phambi kwale nkantolo.
He introduced himself here as court as Sizwe Sikhumbuzo Zungu.
Uma-ke ezisho noma ezethula-ke la inkantolo wathi-ke uSizwe Sikhumbuzo
Zungu. And do you know him?
Uyamazi.
I do know him.
How do you know him?
Umazi kanjani?
Uzalwa ngumkhulu.
His father, I would say he's Mkulu would be in two ways. It's either Mkulu is a grandpa or would be my father's elder brother. So ukabila ngithi ligama Mkulu ukuthi ke ungaphambili umdala kunobaba wakho noma ke umkhulu like
Uzalo baba. Uzalo baba umkhulu.
Okay, that's correct. Yes, I would say that his father is my grandpa.
Thank you. So you got some certain degree of relationship with him.
Okusho ukuthi kukhona ukuhlanganisayo naye yena uSizwe Sikhumbuzo Zungu. Kukhona ukuhlobana okukhona phakathi kwakho naye.
Yebo kukhona.
That's correct.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kwabeni. Indeed, your name featured a lot in the testimony of Mr. Zungu. This we ultimately referred to him here at court as Constable Zungu.
Igama lakho ke liye lagqamaka noma livelile kakhulu ke kubufakazi bakhe umnumzana uZungu la enkantolo ebebizwa ke njengo Constable Zungu.
Do you follow?
Uyangizwa?
Yebo ngiyakuzwa.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Now, without any waste, he preferred his testimony on the 7th of September 2023. That's the date on which he started to testify.
Kwakungeyi 7th kaSeptember 2023 ilanga ke aqala ngalo ukuthi ke ethula ubufakazi phambi kwale nkantolo.
And he testified, we'll get into that very shortly. He testified about the incidents that panned out on the 26th of October 2014, which is the date on which the deceased in this case was killed.
Efakaza ke mayelana nokwenzeka ke ngazo i26 October 2014 ekuyilona ke ilanga umufi ashona ngalo.
Now, basically, he sketched his testimony on your involvement in this case around that day.
Uthi ke wena ke uhlangana kanjani ke mayelana nalokho ke noma nalokho okwenzeka ngazo ke i26 October 2014 ubufakazi bakhe ke ebobusho ngaleyo ndlela ukuthi wena ke uhlangana kanjani ke nalesigameko lesi.
Thank you. Now, this is what he said. that on the 26th, in the morning of the 26th of October 2014, you gave him a call.
Kufakazi bakhe ke akusho ukuthi ke ekseni ke ngazo i26 ka October 2014 wena ke wamshayela ucingo wena washayela yena ucingo.
Unamanga.
He's telling lies.
We will come to that. Why do you say he is lying? Now, he further said that as you gave him a call, it was because he wanted to know if he would be able to come to Foslo Rest on that day.
Uthi ke isizathu sokuthi ke wena ke wamshayela ucingo ngalelo langa kwakuwukuthi ke efuna ukuzwa kuwena ukuthi wayengeza yini eForcelers ngalelo langa lelo.
Hayi ukhuluma manga.
No, he told lies.
Thank you. And then, as he was talking to you, or in fact, as you were talking to him, his response was, because it was still early in the morning, because according to him, you phoned him around 15 minutes past 7 o'clock in the morning. He told you that he first has got to go to work, but would be able to come to your place when he knocks off in the afternoon.
Uthi ke wakutshela ke ngoba ke kwakusekuseni ngaleso sikhathi ke ukuthi ke wayezoqala emsebenzini wayezothi ke ngalelo langa lelo uma esephuma ke emsebenzini eze kuwena.
Any comments?
Khona ungakusho?
Hayi ukhuluma manga.
No, he told lies.
Thank you. He went on to tell this court that after that discussion, there was a bit of a pause. But then you then initiated a call. You called him and informed him that a certain gentleman by the name of Marco Sonke from Rustenburg will also be joining you.
Uthi ke kwase kugcina ke kulokho ke uthi kodwa ke wase uphinda ke wena futhi ke umshayela ucingo ke umtshela ke ukuthi ke kunomlisa thizeni okuwumakho sonke okuye Rustenburg naye ke wayizoba khona ke lapho uma senihlangana.
Hayi unamanga.
No, he lied.
Thank you. Then after you had called him, you then sent him, Zungu, Makosoke's contact details. In other words, after you had spoken to him, you then sent Makosonke's details over to him. That is now Constable Zungu.
Uthi ke muva kokuthi senikhulumileke wase wena ke umthumela imininingwane kaMakhosonke magama akhe imininingwane kaMakhosonke wena wayithumela kuyena uConstable Zungu.
Hayi ukhuluma manga.
Now he told lies.
Thank you. He went on and told this court that he then called you and told you that he would call you once he knocks off at his work in the afternoon.
Uthi wasekutshela ke ukuthi ke uzoxhumana ke noma wayezoxhumana ke nawe uma esephuma emsebenzini ngalelo langa lelo.
Hayi ukhuluma manga.
No, he told lies.
Thank you. Well, the following is good. It might have a little, you might have little knowledge on it, but this is what he further told this court, that as he proceeded with his testimony, he said that after he knocked off in the afternoon, he then contacted Makosonke and arranged with him to meet at Carlton Center.
Uthi ke uma eseshayisa ke emsebenzini ngalelo langa lelo wasexhumana naye uMakhosonke base bevumelana ke ukuthi ke bazohlangana eCarlton Center.
And indeed, Constable Zungu then went to Carlton Center in Joburg and found Makosonke waiting for him there.
Uthi ke ngempela ke yena ke Constable Zungu waseya khona ke eCarlton Center wahlangana khona noMakhosonke.
Now he went on and told this court that as they were sitting and eating there at Carlton Center with Makosonke, you then called him, Constable Zungu, and asked about their whereabouts. And Zungu informed you that they were already on their way to your place.
Uthi ke besahlezi-ke lapho bedla-ke eCarlton Center wase wena-ke uxhumana naye Constable Zungu ufuna ukwazi ukuthi babe kuphi nendawo wakutshela-ke ukuthi-ke babe sendleleni eza kuwena.
Do you follow?
Ngabe uyezwa yini?
ngiyakuzwa.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
What is your comment on
What's
the
your-
fact that you called him, Constable Zungu, to find out where they were, and then he informed you that they were on their way?
Uthini-ke kulokhu kokuthi-ke wena-ke wasuxhumana naye ufuna ukwazi-ke ukuthi babe kuphi nendawo wasetshela yena-ke ukuthi basendleleni eza kuwena. Uthini kulokho?
Akaze bengitshela ukuthi bayeza kimi.
They never informed me that they were on their way to me.
Was there any such conversation on this day with him?
Yayikhona yini inkulumo ekanjalo ngaleliya langa phakathi kwakho naye?
uConstable Zungu ufike 2017 kimi. Eqala ukufika nakhona ngisurprise.
We talking about what he says happened according to him on the 26th of October 2014.
Ukhumbuleke lana ukuthi-ke lana sisho into yena-ke eyakhulunywa uyena la enkantolo ethi yenzeka ngazo i-26 ka-October 2014 khona laphayana ehostel.
Do you follow?
Uyezwa kahle?
Ngizwa kahle.
I understand.
Thank you. He further went on to tell this court that accused number 2, Mr. Ntanzi, accused number 3, Mr. Mnube, and accused number 5, Mr. Ntuli, were there upon his arrival.
Waqhubeka-ke kubufakazi bakhe-ke ethi umsola wesibili umnumzana uNtanzi, umsola wesithathu umnumzana uMncube kanye nomsola wesihlanu umnumzana uNtulu babe khona lapho ngesikhathi yena afika ngaso.
Unamanga.
He's telling lies.
Today's courtroom bombshell has thrown the state's case into crisis. Advocate Manisi, appearing for accused 1 and 3, finally called the man Zungu described as his centerpiece. Gwabini, the person Zungu claimed was with him at the Vosloorus hostel. But instead of confirming Zungu's testimony, Gwabini distanced himself completely, stating clearly that Zungu is telling a lie. This changes everything. Remember, the state accepted Zungu's statement. They used it to arrest the accused. They leaned heavily on his hostile narrative. They presented Zungu as credible and reliable. So when Gwabini gets into the witness box and says, no, that never happened, the foundation of the state's case begins to collapse. This raises a massive question. Should Zungu be charged with perjury? Not automatically. Perjury requires proof that he knowingly lied, not just that his version contradicts someone else's. But if evidence emerges that Zungu fabricated his story, invented the handwritten commission statement, or intentionally misled investigators, then yes, perjury becomes a real possibility. So what will the prosecution do now? First, they must urgently re-interview Zungu. They need to gather every document, every note, every docket entry, and any chain of custody record related to his so-called handwritten statement. They must decide whether to defend him or abandon him. Next, the state must disclose everything, including material that harms their own case, to the defense. If they hold anything back now, Judge Ratha will not tolerate it. And speaking of Judge Ratha, he is now staring at a credibility disaster. He may demand explanations, order the state to produce the missing records, or even pause the trial to investigate whether the court has been misled. If he believes Zungu's version is unreliable or was never properly verified, he may strike evidence, or in extreme circumstances, even consider staying proceedings. This moment is a turning point. If Zungu's evidence falls apart, then so does the entire hostile narrative the state built their case on. Once the centerpiece collapses, everything around it begins to crumble. Here are the critical questions. Why did Zungu say Gwabini was with him if he denies it? Where is the handwritten commission statement Zungu claimed existed? Did Zungu knowingly give false information under oath? Why does his version contradict the state's own records? Did the state verify Zungu's claims before arresting the accused? Why is the handwritten statement missing? Was the investigation rushed or influenced? Judge Ratha must now ask the following. Is Zungu's testimony still credible? Should this matter be investigated as possible perjury? Does the missing statement compromise the fairness of the trial? Can the case proceed at all if the key witness collapses? This case just entered a dangerous new phase. If Gwabini is telling the truth and Zungu lied, then the state has a serious problem, not just with evidence, but with credibility. As this unfolds, one thing is certain: South Africa is watching. Let me know in the comments. Should Zungu be charged with perjury? And what do you think Judge Ratha should do next? Thank you for watching, and if you want more real-time updates, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the channel. Skybreach signing out. Until next time. Goodbye.